You're welcome back. This is Newsfile, your most authoritative news analysis show. And here on Newsfile, we put Ghana first. Well, your views and comments are welcome. Even as we start the show, 1422, that's the text line, 1422. And this show is coming to you live from Multi-TV Studios. This is your Joy News channel. It is live on Joy 99.7 FM, in Kumasi on Love FM, and over a dozen affiliate stations across the country. Also, it's available at Multi-TV World/streams. And you can also catch us using your TuneIn Radio app, and you will get us in very crystal clear sound. Subsequently, the show is available at on the ABN television, Sky Channel 236. Once again, you're welcome. And my guests are seated, just waiting for one more of my guests who should join us sometime shortly. Now, Yao Opong is a private legal practitioner and is also a lecturer in law at the Central University College. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Morning, sir.
Abdul Malik Kweko is editor-in-chief of the New Crusading Guide and also is our regular panelist here on the show. Kweko, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Right. Did you find that Blakk Rasta took your advice last week?
Well, I don't want to.
The request was that he started apologizing from that day.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That was a request that he should be doing.
Yes, yes.
It does appear he didn't do so. Okay. He only apologized when he got there. And also the Honorable Inusa Fuseni. Well, I'm always excited to have you on the show. Having had you on this show in a very long while.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I enjoy listening to you, especially my brother Kokubako.
Right.
When he's espousing all the legal theories.
Okay. So today you don't have the opportunity to listen. You have to be part of the discussion.
Yes.
Good to have you also. Thank you very much. The major issues that we will be looking at will be the new EC boss. We'll find out who she is, what must have been done wrongly in her appointment. And then we will take a look at how Sodom and Gomorrah is being reformed. That is the old Fadama, how that place is being reformed. The demolishing that happened and also the demonstration that followed that. And now, as we are aware, government is trying to now resettle them. That decision is after they have been rendered homeless and find themselves, under the vagaries of the weather, women and children. Now, after that, we also look at the bank switch matter, and you know that Trade Minister Ekospio Gabra has written a letter to some destination inspection companies asking them to assist government to repay the debts, and when they do so, they will get contracts, or their contracts that are expected to expire will be renewed for some, is it 2-3 years more. We'll find out what's wrong with that approach or what's right with that approach. We are being told that we may be careful, otherwise we're getting into yet another judgment debt, even in seeking to repay that debt. We'll get into all of that details, but before we do that, quickly, we would look at what happened in Parliament as far as the Privileges Committee is concerned, very briefly, and then briefly scan through the Jamefe Commission reports. Right. Now, I start with you, Yao. What do you make of how the process was conducted in Parliament when Blakk Rasta appeared before them? Ahmed Abubakar.
Yes, good morning. I expect that you have immunity from being invited as well. So on that basis, we'll proceed.
You don't just make sure that when you're on heat, you keep your head under the cooler.
Well, fortunately, there's a member of parliament here, so he will give me that blessing.
Well, I found the caveat too.
All right. I mean, I think it's important to restate the fact that institutions of state, especially the organs of state, have their functions, and also they are clothed with sanctity. And for that matter, whatever they do and whatever we also do must be based on that principle so that we don't, as it were, do or say things that will appear to erode the sanctity of these organs of state. I have had issues with contempt, especially where the person or the institution or members of the particular institution against whom certain acts or conduct of other persons may be viewed as contemptuous of them or the functions, that they should be the same persons who should also determine whether or not somebody's act or omission constitute or amount to contempt. And so I even had my difficulty appreciating, with all due respect, what went on in the Supreme Court when the contempt matters came up. But it has been justified that because of the exigencies of the time, probably was convenient. But I think that at another time, when that matter comes up, because now, even at the High Court, when there is an order of injunction and one of the parties disobey the order, usually the contempt application will not go before that same judge. It becomes a totally new case and is usually placed before a different judge. And Justice Afre did a similar thing when the Deputy Attorney General then, during the Kufuor era, alleged that I think former President Rawlings had made some remarks which may amount to contempt of the court. I think I remember the Attorney General was advised to place the matter, if they so desired, before, or file it, so it will be placed before a different judge. So when we come to Parliament, yes, I'm not discounting the fact that it is the Constitution that states that Parliament per its appropriate committee, that is the Privileges Committee, should be the one that first of all should determine whether or not an act or omission of a person obstructs or impedes Parliament in the performance of its functions, or obstructs or impedes a member or officer of Parliament in the discharge of his duties, or, more importantly here, affronts the dignity of Parliament, or which tends either directly or indirectly to produce that result, and that will amount to contempt of Parliament. But we should also bear in mind that the only institution of state or any institution in this country which has final judicial power is the court.
Okay, you see, we've gone over this the last time. So what I wanted us to look at is how the process was conducted in the House of Parliament. Let's listen to the contemnor and what he had to say before the Privileges Committee, which was broadcast live on television.
Very unfortunate utterances. I mean, I've hosted this program for only God knows how long. It's been a very positive show. It's a Pan-Africanist show. And we look at, very positive things. If you check the interview, like he said, it was on something else. And then this one came in on the spur of the moment. So I would like to apologize, yes, for those unfortunate remarks which sometimes come. I mean, when you are on heat. Yeah, but that's it.
The MPs had a certain reaction to what he had to say. Let's hear some of them.
His conduct when he appeared before the committee, if you ask me, did not look apologetic. It was only when the tape was played to him that he eventually found out that indeed he couldn't escape from what he himself was supposed to have said. And therefore he belatedly apologized profusely. That does not end the matter in our opinion. We are going to receive the report of the Privileges Committee who are in conclave right now and are meeting. When they come to the plenary, the whole House has a decision to make. And as you would have gleaned already, members are taking this thing much more serious than people think. And
we need decency and decorum in all spheres of life. that we'll discuss it at the floor of the House, but I would have wished that he really apologized to the whole country through all the media stations. I mean, the whole media, stations, so that at least Parliament will not be taken for a ride. Parliament is an institution, very powerful institution, as the High Court powers, and we have to exhibit these powers for Ghanaians to know that yes, we have the powers as High Court. But then he need to show some remorse. Now he has apologized. He need to go to all the media houses to also apologize. They will caution him. And the advice I give right now is that it's not only Blakk Rasta alone, even all members of Parliament, including you, the journalist.
So you heard some members of Parliament there. There's quite a number of the MPs who hold the view that Blakk Rasta is not sincerely remorseful, and that they ought to exact the ultimate punishment from him. That will be to refer him to the court for a criminal process of contempt by which he may likely face a prison term. I'll come to you back just for about some 2 minutes. Okay. But Abdul Malik Kubako believes that Parliament should not go that far. They should simply accept what he has done and reprimand him. Koku, why do you say so? Because they referred to him that even after he had made those comments, subsequent interviews with various radio stations indicated a day before he even came to the House that he had not changed his mind.
But he changed his mind eventually before the Committee of Privileges.
That is right.
Yes, so that's mitigation. And, Parliament, it's because of its connection, its proximity to the people when it comes to the representation principle. Whereas it has powers and authorities to do certain things, must also have a big heart. This gentleman made absolutely reckless statements, no doubt about that. I don't think that is in dispute. With all the, twists and turns, even at the committee level, when the tape was played, it was so manifest that he had said what had been attributed to him, he gave up and apologized. So I think he showed enough, sensitivity to the issue at stake. He mitigated the offense. And it's only an appeal, a plea to Parliament that, look, for once, you've put out this whole contempt thing in a certain way. It's been happening anyway. But this is the first time that it's had the kind of publicity it had. Even broadcast and telecast live. It's the first time, if my memory serves me right. Well, so yes, why go to the extreme with this? Maybe this will serve as a deterrent and to others. So it's just a personal plea, that I'm making, and I believe Parliament will be better served if it shows that it has a big heart.
Okay, Honorable, obviously he's shown that those comments that 80% of MPs smoke weed or marijuana is untenable, he's unable to justify. So he came on his knees. Why is it that some of your colleagues are still holding on to this and are very intent? We have spoken to some of them. They are intent on pushing for the ultimate prison term for him.
Well, thank you so very much for the opportunity to be on your show for the first time in many months, and to say that I have always enjoyed listening to you, and to wish listeners a belated Father's Day. I think basically I associate myself with the sentiments expressed by Elaji, Mr. Malik Okubako. He refused to accept the ticket.
Not yet.
He refused to accept the ticket given to him by the late, former President Rawlings.
No, I didn't refuse.
He didn't come to you?
I declined.
You declined?
It was bad timing.
Okay, bad timing. Okay. Now, when the reports come before the House, I must state here that I will advocate that he be forgiven. He's shown enough remorse. The compelling hand of the Parliament has been exerted on him. He's appeared. I mean, because he hadn't appeared before Parliament before, he still was holding tenaciously to what he had said and trying to defend same. Having appeared before Parliament, he was confronted with the magnitude of the problem, and then he immediately saw it. He took advice from our brother Koko Baku, and then he apologized. To err is human, and then to forgive is divine. And so for us, I think basically, he now knows. I mean, it's true. I mean, the imputation of a crime is actionable per se. I mean, the fact that he said smoking weed in Ghana is still a crime.
That's correct.
And to say that somebody smokes weed cannot be taken lightly at all, because you are directly affecting the character. If it were any person, that will take action against you. And two, this is the House, one of the arms of government, the House of Representatives. You're saying that the House of Representatives, about 80% of them, more than 2/3 of them, smoke weed. They sit to make laws.
It means you have been committing crimes.
Actually, first of all, it means that we are criminals, because smoking weed is a crime. Two, we pass laws.
It's a crime when you do it without license or without approval.
But there's no license in Ghana. There's no license.
That's the weird part of
There's no license. Okay, so and so we have not yet gotten to the stage where we license people to trade in weed, and we engage in the deliberation of serious matters of state.
Right.
And we know that anybody can be under a state of some influence if he takes weed. And to say that some of us take weed is to try to say that even in our deliberations on the floor of Parliament, we are influenced by substances other than pure reason. Okay? And so people will begin looking critically at what we do. So that's the seriousness of the issue.
But do you believe that people believe in that?
People don't believe in that.
Okay.
That's one reason why he's forgiven.
Okay. Now, just a minute so we go. You had the first opportunity.
Oh, yes, I mean, I also listened to him. I think, indeed, even before he apologized, his lawyer did that. Tadios Sorry did the right thing, and even said that before they appeared before Parliament, they had agreed that, first of all, what he was done cannot be justified. It is an offense. And that they were prepared from the onset to apologize. But unfortunately, there was a laid-down procedure, which meant that he had to be led in evidence, cross-examined, and all that. But I think he has shown enough remorse. His lawyer has done so on his behalf as well. As for the other things that he so strongly believes in, I think we should just leave him to that. I mean, to the extent that he doesn't manifest it.
Okay.
All right. So I think that he should be forgiven.
Yeah, he's referring to Blakk Rasta's, crusade for the legalization of marijuana use in Ghana.
Well, you recall we've dealt with that.
Yes, we have.
We have. This program was when the NACOP executive secretary.
That is so.
Flew a kite, around that issue, and some of us, in fact, it was a consensus that legalizing it the way it was being pushed can create more problems than we already settled.
Right.
But you see, there's absolutely nothing wrong with somebody thinking that this must be done. Else, in other jurisdictions, it's a global matter.
Right.
There's a whole debate out there, and in some jurisdictions it's been legalized, and then some restrictions imposed. So if that was his mission, that could have been carried out in a way that would not have created these problems for him.
Right.
Indeed, on the floor of the House, and this was the third Republican Parliament, a member of Parliament, Nana Akwaku Sapon, on the ticket of the PFP, a similar issue happened. And on the floor of the House, he actually advocated the legalization of the export.
Okay.
So as to make revenue for the state. It was debated widely, but not.
And Blakk Rasta has also been talking about the fact that it will bring a lot of revenue to the country. Well,
and that's only when you export.
Okay.